It's the first week in August. I'll take a quick look at the garden here, see what we've got going on. We've had lots and lots of tomatoes and some different varieties there. So first we'll look at our late season transplants, the tomatillos, which have been getting better and healthier over the past couple weeks. Been very excited about that because, as you know, we haven't had a lot of success with those late season transplants, but we have now. It's finally reestablished itself. We're starting to get some good sized tomatillos starting to form there. Lots of them. So hopefully soon we'll have some of those come ripe and ready. So I'm really excited about that. And then this little guy too, same thing, starting to put out some new fruits, and hopefully they'll keep developing there. Our Romas have been super duper productive and very heavily laden with their fruit. So, but the plants have not grown, it seems like, an inch in like a month. They've just kept producing out those 50 tomatoes. So we decided to pull some of the tomatoes off, the ones that were, even some that were not quite as ripe as we would normally let them, just to kind of take some of the load off of the plant and hope that it can recover and then start to grow, because we don't know if that's what the deal is. That's why they're not growing, because they're over. I mean, just cannot believe the number of tomatoes on this little plant here. So we just took a ton of them off so that we can hopefully, like I said, let the plant come back and maybe it'll start to grow up again, or at least put out some more fruit. That's whatever. We just don't want it to be done. So anyway, we're going to try that out and see how that works. So those are the Romas, and then we have our 4 red okra. They're looking good. Have noticed some aphids starting to hang out on there. I don't know why they love the okra so much, but we'll have to look into that. Here is he's a little hard to see there. I put him in the fence so that he could not be laying on the ground. This is our birdhouse gourd. So really excited about that. See how that turns out. As you can see, our green beans have been very prolific here. I don't know if they're waiting for a signal, if they're waiting to stop, if they don't start producing until the vine stops growing. Not sure, but I haven't seen any flowers, any beans here. But the vines are very prolific, growing a lot. They just keep growing, haven't stopped. But like I said, haven't seen any flowers, any beans, so we'll have to see how that goes. But it's definitely a good heavy producer to cover up a fence if you had one. Totally. And then here are scarlet runner beans. You can see here's the really pretty flowers here. The reason why some people grow them, just for the flowers. Haven't seen any beans though. So that's fine. I'm just happy that they're growing. They might not grow until the fall when it cools off, or might not produce till the fall, I should say. And then here we've got our here's our purple hyacinth beans. We have a couple different varieties here. They're doing very well. Once again, no fruit, no beans, but the vines are still growing. And last year they did not do well at all. They were planted, I think they were actually just planted over there on the that east side there, not back here in a little bit of the shade. Must be a little cooler, must be happy for them, I don't know, or a different year, but they're doing well. Last year they only grew about a foot and then they just stopped. So not sure exactly what happened, but very happy with that. And with our other paste tomato, Health Kick, it has kind of done the same. It really hasn't produced a lot more. It's produced really heavy and then it's kind of slowed down. So we might come in and pick off a lot of the tomatoes here. We haven't quite done that. This one here is still growing pretty well. You can see it's got some growth up top and some new flowers. These other two right here are starting to look kind of, their leaves are curled up a bit and they're not very supple. So I don't know if they're too heavy as well. So we might come in and do the same thing as we did with the Romas, just pull off some of them and get rid of that excess fruit. The 3 amigos here have done fantastic, as you can see. I've had to basically top the tomatoes off and tell them to stop growing because they keep vining. They're obviously indeterminate, keep growing and growing. We've had the Juliets have been very good producers. We've had quite a bit of those, which is good. especially for just one plant. And they're nice, perfect little size. The yellow pear here have been fairly, not super productive, but okay. Looks like we've got some yellowing leaves and junk going on there, but basically it's been good, but not super awesome. The Juliet's been way outperformed the yellow pear. And the San Marzano, which are these basically mini Romas, we still, I think we have one. Here's our asparagus, which I'm going to gently move out of the way. San Marzanos, we have this one here, which is our first one to ripen. Even though we've had those other guys, even though they're all planted at once, these were smaller plants, and so they were a bit behind, but they're very, very far behind because those have been producing for 4 weeks. And this is, like I say, them here, so they're obviously like a Roma. They're just supposed to be smaller and have a different taste, San Marzano, Italy, or something like that. So anyway, we'll see how they go, but here you can kind of see San Marzano, the Juliet little, they call it grape tomato, about that size there, and then the little yellow pears right here. The yellow pears are much sweeter, well, sometimes sweeter than the others. So they're doing well, but now, like I said, you can totally see the difference between the pasty type tomatoes, which are really short. The plants are really short this season, and then the other ones, which are very large and vining. So we'll just have to see how it goes. But anyway, moving on to the squash. Squash plant's still super productive. I haven't been in there to even look at the look for squash bugs since beginning of July, so over a month. I've just not really been in there because usually when I come out in the morning, the bees are all active and they get really pissed off whenever I disturb them. So we're just going to let it run its course and see what happens. Last week we hardly had any fruit starting to form here because we had let some plants. Took a little trip, so the plants got really big, or the fruit got really big, and from what I've read, that kind of has a feedback cycle with a squash, where if it has big fruits, it kind of slows its production down. So what we did is picked it all, and now it's totally rebounded. So there are probably 10 or 12 fruits there. There's a couple there, a couple there. These ones, once again, easy to see. That's why I really like this yellow zucchini, because you can see it from here. You can see little bits of color and go in there. So there's 3 or 4, 5, 6, 8 there. So very good. Really, with this yellow straight neck, not very productive at all. Once again, the leaves are kind of yellowish. Same thing with the scallop squash there, the sunburst. Not very productive. Yellow leaves as well. Zucchini has done pretty well. It's starting to come back as well. There's a good one that needs to be picked right there. Another one that can be picked over there. So we've got several coming back there. The scallop squash sunburst has finally started producing a few more too. It's like they all just decided to take some time off. I don't know what it was, but they're back. So here is a big fatty which needs to be picked, a medium one and a small one right there. So we're excited to see that the squash are still back and producing while they are. So the eggplants have really not produced very much at all, or not very well. The ones in there we haven't seen anything of, probably because they're being overrun by the squash. Looks like this guy here has finally risen up and popped his head over the squash. Because the squash are very prolific, but they don't grow very high, and the eggplant can definitely grow taller than them. So hopefully we'll start to see some of these black beauties form here. We got some flowers, so we'll just have to see how that. Oh, there we go. Speak of the devil, there she is right there. So maybe we'll see some of those eggplants soon. Just like I say, it's overrun by the squash. So that I didn't really expect to produce yet. Honestly, I expected the squash to be all dead by now, but anyway, I'm happy that they're not. The eggplant here produced some, and then they kind of have shut down. They haven't really produced much at all. These are the little green ones, but it's kind of weird. Late season transplants once again. Eggplant and 3 peppers haven't had any new fruit from any of them, but once again, original leaves are yellowing, dying, just like I said. But the green leaves are coming back now. And so green leaves are coming. There's even flowers. So pretty soon we'll see some fruit on the peppers, but definitely not a good, the best idea to plant this stuff in the late season because it just takes so long to recover. And these guys, ew, I'll just probably take him out. Looks like a little sunburn there. So our corn is looking good. Matter of fact, probably this week or the next, we should probably have some. We need to crack some of those open and see how they are, but they're good. You can see that the silks are changed color, the darker color, and they're definitely fat. You can see some that aren't so fat, and I can feel in there it's pretty much empty, and those ones are. So if I pop that open, it's basically going to be, 6 kernels on the whole cob, because the kernels are basically fattened by getting fertilized. Because once again, this part up here shakes, the pollen comes down, goes in there, and then basically gets transmitted, and that's how they fertilize it. And so that's why you want to have them in a nice dense pack. That way they can fertilize very well, and you can have nice full ears instead of basically non-existent ears. So anyway, corn's looking good. We'll look forward to getting some of that soon. So let's see here with our peppers and such. In this one, my little jerry rig thing there has worked pretty good. The poblanos here they haven't fallen back over, doing good. Starting to, once again, these will get really big, but they're starting to develop nice. The big gems here starting to get big. I read that they will turn red whenever they're ready, and they can get up to 1 foot. So we'll just see how they go. This is once again another one on a transplant, same thing. Yellow leaves, starting to get green leaves, and hopefully some new flowers. So we'll see how that goes. This is supposed to be a chocolate bell. As you see, it's starting to form chocolatey here, but it's starting to get weak there. I think it's like got the sun scald going on. Got to figure something out about that. Our okra is doing well. We have some okra plants blooming right now. I'll have to go around the other side and show you those. Those are very beautiful. There's some good okra forming. Still have the aphids on there. I've been just spraying them with some of the little homemade concoction there to get rid of some of them, which has helped, but basically I think we just have to stay on it. The soybeans that we planted, very few came up, and they're just not doing very well at all. But we're trying it out. Basil's doing pretty well there. The marigolds are finally popped up, and they're very prolific, very beautiful. They're flowers. Here's our sweet banana peppers. Here and here, okra over there, and yeah, we're doing pretty good. There's still a few onions and carrots left in there. We should probably get in there and get some of those out. I'll probably say that every week. The beets, we'll probably pull those and give those. We're going to try to do some pickled beets. We'll see how that goes. But not a whole lot going on there, but we do need to probably start to think about cleaning it out and making room for some, by the end of the month, we could start planting some stuff for the spring garden, or the fall garden, I should say. So here we have one of our late season ones, which has put out a fresh pepper, and I guess this one is too. So hopefully they'll keep going, and we'll get to try some of the peppers here. Here's those big gems. There's the okra, and here's this beautiful flower. I promise you, it is very, very beautiful. If you can see in there, very exquisite looking, just a rich tapestry. Pretty colors in there. So there's a great reason to grow okra plants just for ornamental value, right there. So there's our basil and our Thai basil. Not super productive on the Thai basil, but anyway. So that's it. So the squash have come back, being very productive now. We've got lots and lots of tomatoes, and soon we'll have some corn. So anyway, that's it for this week. Thanks for watching.